Ishwar, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think you are silent now, so I thought you are not able to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's audible.
Okay, so now approver not able to. I think we discussed the SEPA one. What is SEPA payment and why we need it? To enable SEPA payment, actually, if the bank account there is, we need a SCH ID or identifier. That identifier we need to include in the payment format so that SEPA can be the SEPA payment method can be used for that bank account. Approver not able to approve journal. So he was not able to approve journal because he was not in approval group. Suppose a new person joined as a manager, GL manager, and is require approval. If he is not included in that approval group with correct data access, then you will not able to approve. So that you have to find out because, and you have to find out for which journal category. Because in some organization, most of the organization journal approval based on journal category. Journal category, it can be international journal, domestic journal, it can be spreadsheet journal, it will be accrual journal. So different kind of journals we have, and based on this journal category, we created separate approval group that you can use in scenario also, like how journal approval work. So you can mention it's based on journal category, or you can also mention like the accounting account combination also based on which kind of accounts you are using. It's a sales journal or purchase journal. Some transactions we do manually, enter into GL directly. But anyhow, the journal which is coming from AP or AR, usually they don't need approval because all the approval process completed before in the subledger module itself. So whenever data coming from other subledger module, then it's usually don't require approval. But when you are creating spreadsheet journal, manual journal, autocopy journals, and journal coming from some other sources, not from subledger, you can configure approval process for them. So can you give me like how we can do that? For example, I want to exclude approval for subledger module, but if someone user is importing journal for spreadsheet, it require approval. Can you tell me how we can configure this in GL?
Sir, we have one option in specify ledger. So approval required for.
That is fine. Approval required. You can mention in specify ledger option. Then, but in BPM, how you will what condition you will give so that for spreadsheet it will require approval and category it will require approval. What condition you can give? Basically, if you give like if the journal sources is spreadsheet, this kind of journal category is spreadsheet equal to spreadsheet or manual or autocopy, or you can give any other sources. Then it will require approval and it will move to that approval group. And the journal category is that which approval it should go. These two conditions you can give. So you can use the source and category both. This is a common requirement actually, because mostly this journal coming from AP here, they don't require approval. But because AP invoices, the purchasing approval, requisition approval, payment approval, everything happened at sub-ledger level. So once it is imported to GL, then they don't need approval actually. Only the journal which are directly entered in the GL, they require approval. Now AR invoice adjustment is showing pending approval.
Sir, for the above one, right, sir, like, the journals which are entered directly in the GL, in the sense of this closing entries you're talking about, sir, any adjustment entries,
Yeah, it can
whether
be.
it include any
Yeah.
of the journals.
It can be adjustment entry, it can be closing entry, and it can be any petty cash entries or
Okay.
intercompany entries. There are a lot of they are using AGS, but directly they are not entering journal through AGS. So they
Okay.
enter through spreadsheet, intercompany journal.
Okay.
So
Right.
there's some kind of journal. Yeah, this adjustments. Yeah, this require approval. So as the category is manual and source is manual, so we need some approval for this.
Okay. Sir, one more thing, what I'm thinking is also, sir, just correct me whether it's correct or not. The example, see, if we are doing our services on a credit basis, right? Then
Credit?
it will hit our if we are doing our business or services, rendering services or on credit basis, then it will hit the subledgers. If, say,
Right.
example,
Yeah.
as you said, right, sir, petty cash expenses or day-to-day some expenses, which will not involve any, credit basis, right? Then we
Right,
can
right,
post
right,
it
right.
directly, since cash basis, we are directly posting it in GL.
Right,
Is that
right.
correct, right, sir?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So it's based on the business requirement. What kind of journal you want to enter the spreadsheet? That's the difference.
Okay.
And suppose you created some journals you created with wrong entries. For example, you used book with the
Sir.
cost center, but it is coming through some outside party, but the cost center is not correct. So what you will do in GL, you have to reclassify that entry, right? Suppose cost center maybe 1 to 3 is there, but we need XYZ cost center. So you have to manually reclassify that entry, right? To adjust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
In this case also we need approval.
Sir, see, example, you showed us in one of the class where if we are posting a wrong account, right, we are overriding and we are doing that. In GL, we don't have that option.
Overriding means account, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, if it is not posted, you can override.
Okay.
I mean, if it is posted, there is no option, only to reverse the entry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And journal approval, mostly there is also, yesterday I was talking, preparer. There is one other requirement, that is a statutory compliance. The auditor, when he will check, the preparer of the journal should not able to approve. Even if he is in the approval group, he will not able to approve. He is creating the journal. If he is creating the journal, the BPM you have to control that. So in our last project, we got a huge compliance issue because of that. Because the approver himself in the approval group, and sometimes he is creating the journal and approving. We found at least a couple of entries, and the auditor asked why it is happening. So then we restricted that. There is a checkbox in BPM where you can restrict. That is the checkbox name is restrict preparer to approve the journal. I can show you because Yeah, so it is open now. So you can see here there are 5-6 tab here, right? In the 5-6, in the assign tab, if you go to assign tab, you will get all the rules here. Predefined rules. Here you can copy or you can create your own rule. You can see here there is one rule already active here. Supervisory hierarchy. Okay. And this is the general approver participants. And maybe in this instance, they have deleted all other rule sets or participants. Only they are using this supervisory hierarchy. If you go to configuration here, okay, the last tab. So there you will get where it is, there is a prohibits user self-approval. So this checkbox is very important actually. Prohibit self-approval by user named in this payload attributes. If you enable this checkbox, what happens? You have to give here that HRA. Okay. So you have to give that HRA payload option so that any employee who is approving the journal, he will not able to approve. Sorry, creating the journal, he will not be able to approve. The journal creator, tax creator, you have to select this one. So tax creator should not be able to approve. Task creator. So you have to select this one actually. Not sure, but something with this wrong with this expression.
Sir, it is asking for insert into expression. Maybe
correct, yeah. Forget, yeah. So this expression you have to mention there. Where it is. Click on OK. So once you do this configuration, then even if the approver is in the approver group, you will not able to approve if he is creating the journal. So it will avoid a lot of audit issues or statutory compliance issue. So this is one place, and other place where you have to do this. Go to assigning, and in assign, go to rule tab. It's very slow. System is very slow to achieve. So here also there is one place where you can do that actually. Not here, assigning. There are two places actually, assigning. Not sure, in this version, this field is not approvable. The same field where you are getting prohibit approval for the user, creator of the journal. Here in the near under participant also you will get, yeah, here. Advanced payload attributes. Prohibit self-approval by user. Here are the same attributes you have to mention here also. Just enable the checkbox and give. So before that, we have to edit. Once you create the edit button, this will be edited. Okay. So in this, remember when you are doing that, so you have to enable these two checkboxes. Okay. So now the AR adjustment, AR invoice adjustment is not showing, is showing pending approval. So what is the reason? This is very easy one. Tell me.
Might be approver is not there or the amount should be been exceeded.
Yeah, actually AR approver, yeah, AR approver, when he is creating a adjustment entry, there should be approval limit you have to define for that user. Suppose you are the AR who is doing the AR entry and you are doing the adjustment. So if I am not assigning a approval limit for you, suppose you are adjusting adjustment limit is you are right. Just suppose 100 rupees your adjustment limit, and you are doing an adjustment 120. Then it will be pending approval. Or even until there is no approval limit defined for you for that particular currency. So it is based on currency. On which currency your approval limit is defined. So this is not part of BPM approval. This is part of AR setup. So whenever you're doing adjustment, a write-off, or refund, these three activities for which we need to define approval.